Like maybe it's maybe it's red shirt. Oh my god. Yes, it's totally red shirt. And he's got a problem that we don't know about or can't acknowledge because we didn't notice it. We did something really bad to him and we didn't even know because he's just been background guy. Oh, I love that. Okay. So, Undertake a journey. We miss. So a few hours outside town, I heard someone following me. Sure, okay. I've had groupies before. But this trip is really about me and old... I just said Gul'dan. Old Kudan here. We don't really have supplies for hangers-on. So turns out it's old what's-his-face. It's from town. Shekar's warrior guy whose name I never learned. Wonder what his problem is. Okay, so I'm gonna roll. Actually, I'm gonna oracle this. Let's figure out what his problem is. So, this is gonna be weird. All right, theme. The reason he has a problem is something to do with leader. Ooh, a problem with Shekar. And the action is destroy. He thought I was gonna kill Shekar. So maybe Shekar did something really bad to him, and he's like, "Where are you going? You can't leave. Nothing's changed. Like, no, you didn't solve any problem." His name is Reed Scherf. I do like his name being Reed though. That's cute. Okay, I wonder what his problem is. So he's like, he doesn't have any iron weapons, right? We decided that. Like he's got a I don't know, like a flint axe or something. And yeah, and so we're walking away, all cool, and we hear this like, hey, where are you going? And I stop, and I see him come running up. And he's a little bit of at a distance. And he's holding his axe, and he's like, he's a club. Yeah, I like it. Maybe it's a club. Maybe it's a club with like an iron nail in it or something. Like he stole it somewhere. And so he's got this club, and he stops. He's like, where are you going? You're not done. And I'm like, what the fuck do you want? It's like, you can't just leave. I'm like, the fuck I can't. I do whatever I want. That's why I'm so cool. I'm like a winter breeze. I just blow through town. And he's like, no, you don't understand. You can't leave him in charge. He's a monster. I'm like, baby, we're all monsters. What? No, you're not saying anything that means anything. You're just spouting statements. No, you can't. If you leave him, he's gonna let everybody die. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. I thought maybe you were different. I saw you try to play it cool, but the way you look at people, I can tell you care. That's why I don't think you're gonna leave. I don't think you're just gonna walk out on everybody. We need you. And I'm like, oh, sweetheart, honey, no, you don't need me. And I walk over to him, and there's a low like noise. And I look back at Kudan, and I'm like, shut up, elephant. I'm dealing with this. And I turn around, and I walk over to him, and he says, nobody else sees it, but I do. I don't care if you're an elf or whatever. You got to come back and help me. I can't do it. And I can see his eyes getting all watery and he's going to start crying any minute now. And I'm like, oh, buddy. And I come up to him and I put my hand on his shoulder. Right. And I look him in the eyes and I say, you don't need me. The people of Highwatch don't need a hero. The hero the people of Highwatch need is right here. And then I tap him on the sternum. Inside. And I'm going to try to convince him to be the me that you see in me. No, the real magic was inside you all along, red shirt. You can do it. So I'm gonna try, because I'm remember, Nabake is she sucks, and she's just trying to be okay, what would a cool hero say right now? The hero was inside you all along. So yeah, I'm trying to pump him up. So I'm gonna try to compel him to go back and to be the change you want to see in the world. Wonder what his problem is. Turns out the people of Crywatch really need me because they're sad that Shekar is so mean to them. I'll feed this guy some bullshit and he can go be the damn hero. That's not me. All right. I can't believe it took me that long to come up with Crywatch. All right, so we're gonna roll compel, and I can roll it using my character sheet like a cool guy. Oh boy, here we go. All right. Now, I guess the question here is, am I pacifying him or am I lying? I mean, I'm trying to get him to fuck off. I don't really believe it, but he might believe it if I convince him. So yeah, we're going to roll with Shadow. Okay, here we go. Come on, do it. Fool this moron. Yes! I was lying. I was like, I believe in you. You can be a hero. Hot damn. All right. So, strong hit with an opportunity. Maybe he just becomes a hero. Yeah, I can do this. And then he dies 2 days later. Right, exactly. Hard cut to him hanging from a tree. Okay, yeah, good. So strong hit with opportunity. So that means he'll do what I want. I got +1 momentum. Awesome, good. I feel good about myself. He feels good about himself. Sometimes lying is the right thing to do. All right. +1 momentum. I think that this is going to allow me to forge a bond with him. I think that's the bonus. And I think instead of gathering information, I think we're going to bend the rule a little. I think now we're going to forge a bond and add +1. Right? I think that's how that works, where he's just she instilled in me a divine spark of oh my God, and this is progress on my vow, right? Because he's gonna go back and I'm reinforcing, even if I'm lying. What's great is as a player, I am actually giving Nabake what she wants, but Nabake doesn't realize she's working for it. And that's what's so fun about solo RPGs in general, and also about I think about Nabake kind of the same way I thought about Cantor or the same way I thought about Dr. Grigori, where I'm like, sometimes you make a move for them and sometimes you make a move as them, you know? So right now I am playing for Nabake and she is trying to just be herself. But the dice are like, guess what? Today's the episode where we leave bad things behind. And yeah, exactly. She fakes it until she makes it. We know she's doing that, but there will come a moment, I promise you, there will come a moment where she tips over and is like, wait, all that bullshit was true. Like I was right every time I lied to somebody about like the power of friendship or how we need other people to survive or like, and then, yeah, and that's when she dies. Yeah, exactly. And she's like, wait, I finally understand. And then spear. So yeah, okay. Let's record the results here. So compel with shadow, and then we're gonna follow up. So we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll another forge a bond. We get a +1 from let's roll from the compel, and let's see what happens. Okay, bonds. I'll wait and roll it later. We haven't made it yet. Okay, forge a bond. Here we go. So when you forge a bond, you can attempt to create it. When you do, roll plus heart. When you make this move after you fulfill your vow, you reroll dice. On a strong hit, make note of the bond. Okay, so just roll plus heart. Here we go. And I got +1. All right, we got a weak hit, which, you know, makes sense. All right, weak hit, and that gives us, they ask something in return, envision what it is. Do it, and mark the bond. If you refuse or fail, pay the price. What do you think he asks for? What does he need to cement our bond? God damn it. Okay, I think everybody knows what it is. So he says to me, I put my hands on his shoulders. I'm like, you can do it, buddy. And he looks down at the ground and he says, I don't know, Nabake. I can't. I'm not like you. I'm just a person. I don't know how to make things. And I'm like, listen, I'm just like you. Sure, I'm more athletic and smarter and more beautiful and everybody likes me more and I can drink more than you and I smell better. But I'm just like you. Mostly. And the only thing that makes us any different is, and he looks at my spear and I'm like, you can't have that. Like I look at him like, ugh. And I reach down and I pull out the knife and he like pulls back and I'm like, this, it's not for you, idiot. I mean, okay, yes, it's for you, but I'm not gonna, come here, coward. And I am like, okay, fuck. I have to make up a ritual. Okay, kneel before me, Reed of High Watch. And he looks around and again, we cut to Kudan and Kudan's just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like what are you doing? And I'm like, kneel. And he kneels down and I'm like, today I will make you an honorary half-elf. You will become one of my tribe. Yeah, yes. And to do this, you must give unto the dirt a sample of your blood. To show that you, pay homage to the spirits of the land, the spirits of my people. Come, give me your hand, supplicant. And he puts his hand out, and I take it, and I'm like, and I like cut a little bit on his palm, and he's just like, and like pulls his hand back. I'm like, yes, the pain should remind you of the sacrifices that you must make for others, to be a good person and to bear this knife which I shall give unto you. Do you swear to me an iron oath upon this blade that you will return to Highwatch and, as a member of my tribe, mete out justice to those who would wrong you and your family. That you will let no harm come to your chosen people. That you will stand up against injustice. In the name of the moon, I anoint you with your elf name. Your elf name, which we shall call you, fuck, that's the name of my spear. Hulata. Otani. Rise, Otani. This is your secret name. And he stands up, and I hold out the knife. Take this magic knife, Otani, warrior of the land. And he takes it from me, and he's like, tears coming down his face. And I lean in, and I put my finger to my lips, and I say, never speak your sacred name to any human ear, for it is yours. Hide it below this kind of pasty exterior. Get the fuck out of here. He turns around and falls on the knife, and he nods, and he holds the knife. The funny thing is that obviously Nabake she thinks she's bullshitting here, right? But I think we flash back. She's like, all right, fucker, get out of here. And there's a flashback, and we see a much younger version of Nabake. And Nabake is wearing this like gossamer robe, right? And she's wearing a diadem of pearls. I imagine her looking like she's the empress, the child empress from Neverending Story, right? But she's Nabake, so she's little, and she's dressed in this thing, and she's in a stone, like a hall or something, like a circular hall, and her grandmother is standing in front of her, and there's the spear, and in the background there's some other figures. We don't know, maybe they're elves or something, and she's holding the spear, and she's saying something like similar in Elven, but I don't really speak Elven very well, and so I kind of remember it, but this memory is a similar one. It's like anointing me with my Elven name, naming me Nabake, granting me Hulata, the spear of lightning, and at the end of the speech, right, as the end of grandmother getting the thing, she looks around and she leans in and she whispers to me in the human tongue. She whispers to me, "Now go out there and make me proud." And she like smacks me on the butt, and I'm like, "Grandma." And I've translated that memory, and we cut back and we see Reed, now Otani, who I guess I need to add to the dramatis personae and to my own personal bonds. So this is Reed, aka Otani, which means the small fish. An elfin. Okay. And what do we know about Reed? What is Reed's innate character? It was the first elven word I could think of that wasn't my spear. I was just like, I will call you. And honestly, like, this feels to me like just fleecing somebody with like elven magic. So let's figure out. Anxious, yes. Accurate. Intolerant, maybe. And brave. Oh, that's so good. It's perfect. Anxious, intolerant of like injustice, and brave. Oh, what a cute boy. All right, Reed, I suddenly like you now. One of Shekar's hounds, a young man who sees evil in the world and hopes to right the wrongs. He sees. Carries elf sticker, an iron knife, and is blessed, quote unquote, blessed by elf magic to serve the land or some shit. Because Good luck, kid. Kind of makes me think of Finn in oh my god, he is, because he's a stormtrooper who tries to do right. Yeah. Oh my god, that's so good. So Reed is he's Finn from The Force Awakens. It's perfect. All right, so I have a bond with Reed now. And I love that I just made an NPC swear an iron bond with me, an iron oath to me. So if he was a PC, this would be the split off game, right? If somebody else wanted to go back into town as him, they could play as Reed Otani, and he's going to go into town and try to like save Highwatch. So if we come back in a couple of years, maybe he'll be the boss. All right, so let me go back to my bonds and mark a new one. Okay, cool. And he's in Highwatch. He is anxious, intolerant, and brave. Okay. And then we'll copy the notes there as well. There we go. There's our boy. All right, we may not see him for a while, but there he is. Okay. Perfect. Now, the alternative there would have been that we could have brought him with us or whatever, but I honestly don't want to have a party of adventurers. So yeah, he's gonna run off. He heads back to town. We've resolved that situation. Let's attempt to carry on. All right. So, I made up some bullshit about elf magic and protecting the land and being a hero and whatever to get that nerd off my ass. It took giving him Myric's knife to convince him he was worth a damn. But let's be honest, I don't really want to carry around a knife called Elf Sticker. Do I? That'd be like wearing a cloak called Women Can't Read. Pretty offensive. Good riddance. There you go. All right. I guess his name is Otani now, which I think is elf language for that weird little silver fish nobody likes to eat. Oh well. He's not gonna know any better. Let's get this show back on the road. All right. Perfect. Yeah, Sardine Coon. All right, here we go. We are going to attempt to undertake a fucking journey. All right, Nabake, don't blow this. Do the damn thing. All right, where is it? Undertake a journey. Here we go. Come on. Get some damn progress. Oh, we could burn momentum and turn it into a strong hit. Ooh, might be worth doing. I think we should also camp after this because we can camp along the way. So, all right, let's look at the difference between a weak and a strong hit for this one. So when on a strong hit, you reach a waypoint. On a weak hit, you suffer one supply. How am I for supply? I am bad for supply. So how about instead we do burn momentum because we're just going to be traveling. So let's burn it. Reset it to 2. There we go. All right. So let's make a note of that because I think that's the smarter move. Just take it while we can get it. That's Nabake's motto. I'm gonna take it where I can get it. So undertake a journey. This is weak hit, upgrade to strong hit with momentum. the momentum mechanism, and I think by extension, the journey progress countdown clock thing, that is all Ironsworn's, like, that's its killer tech. That feeling of building momentum, spending it, proceeding, like that tension is very, very good. It's like probably the thing that draws me to keep playing this game over and over. Okay, so that means that we make 1 progress for the waypoint. And we, let's see, we can either mark another progress. Let's see, mark strong hit. Oh no, you reach a waypoint, you mark progress. Mark progress and 1 momentum, but -1 supply. Interesting. Okay, let's do mark progress and God. And +1 momentum. I'll take it if I can get the extra momentum. I'll trade momentum and supply. Because okay, we're not unprepared, because unprepared is different. Because we can still scavenge. We still have a chance. So let's do that. Maybe we realize maybe the milestone is camp, and we realize that we have to so we have to dig the weak. Oh yeah, that's true. In that case, that's right. In that case, I should just take the weak hit and go down to 0 supply anyway. Yes. Okay. So we'll just take the weak hit instead, because it's the same. Yeah. In this case, that doesn't make sense. So let's do weak hit. Right. Mark progress. -1 supply. Thank you. Yes, good call. And let me look, because the resupply thing is confusing. You can't resupply if you have unprepared. And when you lose supply, do you automatically, because some of them, it's if you're at 0, and then I think it's if you're at 0 and you take another supply hit. So I think we have to resupply at 0 or we become unprepared. Let me double check, because I don't know if it works the same or differently for different roles. Okay, so let's see here. Moves. Where is it? Here we go. Resupply. If you have the unprepared condition marked, you can't resupply. Sure. Okay. But what marks the unprepared? It says when it gets to 0, where is that? Oh, it's a separate move. Oh. Okay. This was what I wasn't sure about. Okay. When your supply is exhausted, mark unprepared. Okay. Sure. Well, that's fine. We'll just go with it. So we can't, that's fine. We just have nothing left. So we'll just have to rely on our stupid animal to deal with that shit for us. That's why we have him, right? Right? Let's see. All right. So we mark progress, but yeah, we can roll with him instead of supply now. Yeah. I could theoretically have burned momentum and resupplied instead. I guess that's a better move then if we're going to end up at 0. So on this move, instead of doing that, we will burn back down to 2 so that we don't take the momentum hit on a strong hit instead. Yeah, that's a better, oh man, that's a better way to do it. Okay, so weak hit, burn to strong, mark progress, no supply loss. Then I'll scavenge on the next roll. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Okay. So we marked progress. We should be at 2 because that's the reset. We should be at 1 supply, not 0. And then, yeah, and then we can stop and we can resupply. Perfect. Okay. So, heading north along the skirt road Fog. 2 hour left. Cliffs of the fjord. To our right. We press on. We press on. This is dangerous territory. Even with the marker lights to guide us. Easy to get lost if the fog rolls out this way. It's getting dark. We better scavenge for food and make camp. Okay, so let's do that. Let's make some rolls. Yeah, I think it didn't make sense to resupply at the start of the session. Like, I wanted to start the session with, like, I'm out, and then get a little distance. I'm trying to follow the fiction, right? So we're going to resupply here. So, resupply. Let's see how that works. Hunt, forage, or scavenge. Roll plus wits. Okay. God, this character sheet's so good. Look, so if you click on the right, it gives you the move. I don't even need this anymore. This moves reference. If you click on the name of the move, it gives you the move right there. I want the Dungeon World Roll20 character sheets to look this good. Roll20. Hey, I know you designed the character sheets already, but man, if you ever want to upgrade them, this is some hot shit right here. So yeah, and then you can roll them by clicking on the link. They're so good. Yeah, Iathan did such a good job. Okay, so let's do it. Let's roll Nabake. Let's get her to resupply. So the resupply is just hunting, foraging, and scavenging. And hopefully I don't run into any trouble. We got a weak hit, which will give me, or no, that was Undertake a Journey. Go. We got a weak hit. Okay, perfect. All right, resupply, weak hit. And that grants me, seriously, like Iathan, you should be really, really proud. These character sheets are great. I didn't mention it at the beginning of the session. I'll take a quick break here just to mention it, but Roll20 released their stats for the last quarter of like new games that got created, games people are playing. Ironsworn had a 900% increase in player base. So the number of new games created for Ironsworn in Q4 of 2019 was 900% more than before. And part of that obviously is like you watching these and being like, this looks like fun, I'm going to go play it. But also it's the high quality character sheet that is provided in the game. Yeah, right? Like Mark and I playing, spreading the word, but also like having the technology here to play with. Because if I had done the first look and there was no good character sheet to play on, I wouldn't keep coming back. Like the game keeps being more fun and easier to play because the technology that underlies it just keeps getting better, which is, it's fascinating. It's really cool seeing that happen. So Iathan, you get credit for that too. All right. So we go out and what kinds of things do we think we would find, right? Like, I don't think we can hunt. We can't fish in the fjord. So like, birds, I guess. I think it's birds. So I managed to hunt down a couple of seagulls, which is pretty gross, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I heard that it was bad luck to kill a seabird. What do I look like? A lighthouse keeper? Fuck it. Food's food. So I got a weak hit, +2 supply, but -1 momentum for each. Oof. All right. So to waste a bunch of time. +2 supply. -2 momentum. Oh, up to 2 supply. I'm going to take both. Yeah, I'm going to do both. It's fine. It's fine, he says. All right, so that brings me down to 0 momentum, but brings my supply up to 3, which is a nice safe place for it to be. Now we need to rest and make camp and eat some roast seagull. Seagull. Tastes like dirt. All right. Unfortunately, Kudan doesn't have hands or a brain, honestly. And so I have to do all this bullshit myself. Thanks, idiot. A lot of good you are. All right, roll. Make camp. That's true. You can secure advantage. Yeah. But the problem is assessing a situation, making preparations, and attempting to gain leverage. They're not really something that she thinks to do very often. Every once in a while. Let's see. Nabake, go ahead and make camp here, my dear. Health. Mammoth. Yeah. Mammoth's health is 5. The funny thing is he is helping. He's helping a lot. like a ton. But I'm a dick, so. Nabake is her own problem. All right. We got a weak hit on the camp. Make camp. Weak hit. And that means we gotta make some choices here. On a weak hit, choose one. I want spirit. I want to relax, right? Weak hit. Relax for +1 spirit. So probably like some hours later, right? Some hours later, we are resting, right? It's dark. I got a fire going just off the road. This is the life. Nobody but me and this big stinky elephant wandering the open road, looking for adventure and excitement and hot people to bang, killing anyone that looks at us sideways. Hell yeah. This is where it's at. I don't know why I wasted so much time fucking around in Highwatch. What a bunch of losers. Is this just how humans are? They all get together and act like idiots? I'm so glad I don't need friends like those morons. Well, good night. Good night, Smelly. There we go. That's right, fucking idiots in Highwatch. Cry watch. What a bunch of losers. Humans suck. I'm sure glad I'm nothing like them. All right, so let's continue our journey here. Okay, so undertake a journey. I just need to get some hits on this stupid move. It's gonna take me forever to get there. All right, undertake a journey. Here we go. We reached a waypoint. We got another weak hit. Okay, that's good. Mark progress, -1 supply. We're getting there. Progress, -1 supply. We got a few more days to go. I think. Now, I know we're supposed to keep doing like, you reach a waypoint, you do a thing. You reach a waypoint, you do a thing. But I feel like that's going to like really drag us down. I think until we fail a roll, we probably don't have to like stop and deal with it. But I also don't want to just keep rotating like camp, right? So, yeah, I mean, we've got all this experience that we could kind of look at spending kind of as an option. But I don't know, you know, like, yeah. We might as well, but it doesn't fit yet. And again, we looked at it before and I was kind of like, I don't really like these so much. I think we'll just hold off on them for right now. But I do want to just let's make another progress roll, right? Let's just keep pushing. So this is the montage part where we just keep undertaking the journey until we either get there or we stop. So let's push on. There we go. All right. So miss with a complication on the next attempt. So a few days later, we run into trouble, and it's big trouble. So let's go undertake a journey. Yeah, right. You just described the landmarks, and I think maybe the first landmark is we pass this town and we continue, but they're nothing to add to the map yet. Yeah. So let's see. Undertake a journey. Week hit. Mark progress. And then another day on the open road, and this one was miss complication. All right, so something bad happens. I think maybe this is where we get lost, like in the fog, right? I think that's what happens. I think the fog, because the sea of fog moves, right? It flows, and so I think we end up getting lost in the fog, right? Oh, but in Corvette, I like that idea too. Yeah. Okay. Here, I have a thought. Let me set this up. So okay. And I should have what, 3 progress now, right? No, 2, because we've done undertake a journey once, undertake a journey twice. Yeah, okay, so we've only got 2 progress. All right. So it's been a couple of days of this intense fog roiling right next to us, and I'm honestly pretty creeped out. Thankfully, someone a long while back laid out a path of stone lanterns along the road, and they're lit by the same kind of strange, inexhaustible, that strange fire I saw in, what was the name of that town? Stonecrag, right? What was it? The Flame Eternal, right? So maybe it was built by the people of Stonecrag. I like that. We're in the area, right? Elf Flame, or whatever. I'm trying to keep following it, but my head keeps getting foggy. Like, I don't want to use foggy again. But I keep getting confused. Wandering into the fog. Weird. Seems like Kudan isn't his usual self either. Get it together, Nabake. So this is what we call a soft move. Now, it's a complication in the sense that if I fail this next move, I become lost in the mist, and that's when shit gets serious. This is my one last chance to face danger. So let's try to get it together and not get lost on the foggy road. I want to die eternal on the foggy road. Okay. I got a case of cloud head. Better than being cloud dead. All right, so roll to face danger. I got that, face danger. Okay, so here we go. Making moves. Survey says face danger. Oops, I should bring it up. There we go. Face danger with... What am I facing danger with here? Expertise, insight, or observation, I guess? Just trying to keep your head. I could see a cause for courage too, but I definitely think it's wits, yeah. Oh no. Well, that's very, very bad. Oh dear. Great. All right, miss. So we get very lost. This is wrong. It's all wrong. Everything is white. And I can't see. Where's Kudan? Where am I? I can't see the lanterns. He was right here just a minute ago. It's dark. What's that sound? Grandmother? Is that you? It can't be. So I think probably I hear voices in the fog, like telling me where to go, right? How to like guide me in, but maybe I'm being lured, right? I'm being lured deeper into the fog. I think, I think since it was a complication, I think I just end up like wandering deeper into the fog, and it leads me somewhere. Where? Okay, so what do we know about the Sea of Fog? Let's take a minute. What do we know about the Sea of Fog in which we are now deeply lost? Bank of eternal shifting fog, remain settled in a valley on the dead shore. No wind or sun pierce this bank of strange mist. Said to be walked by a strange creature called the Watcher in the... fuck. Well, we know who's calling to us. Yeah, we're being called to the Watcher. So, okay, we wander then into a misty forest. We see a canopy of darkness above us. We see the iron root of the trees, and we come in. This was the thing that, this is the thing we lost that nun to, and we wander in. He takes many shapes, and we're following our grandmother's voice into the dark wood, the ironbark wood within the Sea of Fog. So those lost within often hear the call of lost friends and lovers, those gone beyond the veil of death, whose voices echo in this place to mislead and confuse, to draw the unwilling to their doom. Okay. And yeah, there's a big death primordial wandering around here, but I think this is more the Watcher. And maybe the Watcher's pissed at us because we let that thing loose, right? Maybe. We don't know anything about we don't know anything about the Watcher in the woods itself, really. Not yet. So let's, I guess, find out. So because it was a crit, the critical miss, I can't resist. I've fully been drawn into the Watcher's web. So, okay. I'm sure she's here somewhere. I recognize these trees. These are the old woods. I know this place. Grandmother brought me here. But that doesn't make sense. These woods are miles away. I know them. The smell of their needles. The snow on the ground. Wait. Those footprints. So I look down and oh man, this is awesome. So I look down and I see there are two sets of footprints, right? I see my own footprints from when I was a child, right? And I see my grandmother's footprints. I think, yeah, Happy Amoeba is suggesting that I take the sighted ability. I think if I survive this, I take the sight with me from the Watcher. The Watcher teaches me the sight. Yeah, I think that's the plan. If I get out of here, the sighted asset totally makes sense. Yeah. Right, and I think the Watcher is sort of neutral. The Watcher is like an unseelie fae or something, like a spirit of trickery, but also a protector of these woods, and probably is angry at me for releasing this thing. So, god damn it, is that going to be our quest? Are we going to have to do a quest for the Watcher to undo our wrong? Do we have to go and fight giant Skeletor? Oh god, is that what it wants? Fuck. Okay, those footprints. I'm here. I'm here, grandmother. I'm coming. And so I take off. I start running through the woods, right? And I run through the woods, following these tracks, and I come to a clearing. And in the clearing, do you think the Watcher reveals its trickery? No, I think I talk to grandmother first. So I come in and I come to this clearing, and it's, God, what is it? It's like, oh, no. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to make a note in the map legend. Okay, check this out. So somewhere in the Sea of Fog, amidst trees whose bark is dark as shadow, there's said to be an ancient pine, first tree in the shadowed woods. Buried in the flesh of that tree is an axe. A woodsman's axe named, what should we call it? Woodbiter? Barkbiter. A woodsman's axe named Barkbiter, left here by the woodsman, by the only woodsman brave enough to try and cut down a tree in this haunted place. That ancient wound has never been forgotten, and the shadowed woods watch, angry and hurt, always wary of intruders who might come to harm it once again. Yes, that's fun. Yeah, cool. Right? And needles kill anything living under the tree. It's the kind of pseudo grave of a god. Yeah, something like that. But so we come in, and I don't see that, right? Nabake doesn't see the tree. We see the tree. We see the like thunk, the axe in it. But Nabake instead sees the clearing, and in it, her grandmother's house. We see an elven stone hut that looks like it was basically like conjured up out of the earth. It's like a seamless stone house, and we see warm orange light coming from inside, and so we head for it. The woods. I feel like there's got to be a giant wolf here somewhere. Like somebody's huffing and puffing and blowing shit down, because grandmother's house in the woods, bad woodcutter. All we need is a big bad wolf now, which completely makes sense. All right, the woods brought me to grandmother's home, but that can't be possible. She's dead. Her home destroyed by soldiers. I don't understand. Now, I'm going to need to make a roll to try to break the illusion, right? Like, do I see this place for what it is, or do I communicate with the Watcher in the woods as though it were my grandmother? So there is a big bad thing skulking the mist. I think it's some kind of like taking on some kind of wolf form or something. Oh yeah. All right, so we're gonna face danger, and what this will do is, if we succeed, we will we'll see through it, right? And this is a wits roll. Okay, here we go. Face danger with wits. Okay, weak hit, which gives me face danger, weak hit, succeed with a troublesome cost, dispirited or afraid, obviously, right? So weak hit, dispirited, or afraid. And I think Nabake is acting like a scared girl now. Like she's just like trembling and like she's being the child that she was when she was with her grandmother. Her grandmother's been dead a long time. So I think that, yeah, she's not allowing herself to be afraid, but she's feeling the fear of a child. So let's mark that. So my spirit, drops to 0. Now, when spirit drops to 0, I do have to, like, something happens based on the move, right? Let's take a look. It is a suffer move, endure stress. If you are at 0, mark shaken or corrupted and roll on the following table. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and see how that works. So also, yeah, I'm gonna take corrupted. So I'm gonna roll first. It's plus heart now. Yes. All right, we got a strong hit on this one. So we're afraid, but we get a strong hit on the response to our fear, which is what you want. It's okay to be scared. Don't let it control you. That's probably something grandmother said to me. Oh, yeah. It's okay to be scared, Nabake. Just don't let it control you. It's all right to be afraid, little one. Just don't let it control you. The fear is inside you. It's yours, as your heartbeat is, as your tears are. It's nothing without you. You control the fear. Yeah, Grandma. Damn right I do. All right, endure stress, strong hit. And let's see, if your spirit is greater than 0, suffer 1 momentum in exchange for spirit, or embrace the darkness and take +1 momentum. Hell yeah. That's right. I remember my fucking Benny Gesserit training. Okay, so let's go ahead and what do I mark? 1 momentum. We're back up to +1. Nice. Still totally useless, but that's fine. All right. So I have pushed through what I'm afraid of. I see the truth. The cottage fades. I'm not following my grandmother. I see instead this gnarled tree. The tree is dead, right? If I could for you draw a picture, imagine this scene as like, it's directed by Guillermo del Toro, and everything is gray or black, right? We see at the edges the gray of the mist, of the fog. There's a clearing. The earth is broken up by these thick ancient roots of the tree. The tree is enormous. This is enormous pine, goes all the way up into, and all around me there are dead pine needles laying on the ground, just like pine needles. And I think that among the needles there are bones. We see the bones of animals that came here and died because this tree radiates death. At the edge of if I look forward in this, there's this monolith of a tree. There is an axe buried in its side. And the axe poisoned the tree. The tree died, and the axe is buried in it, and it's killing the earth around it. There's this ring of death where all the needles lay, and there are bones of like birds and maybe a deer and any creature that spent too long this close to the tree. And finally, like, I see this, my eyes open, and I see this thing, and I look around, and I clutch my spear, and maybe with my other hand I reach for the knife, and it's not there, and I'm like, fuck. And I clutch the spear, and I say to the open, I'm like, you don't have to use your tricks anymore. Whoever you are, come out. And from behind the tree, we see moving, and it would be filmed. It'd be filmed at a higher frame rate and slowed down to 24. So it moves with this kind of unnatural smoothness that the rest of the scene doesn't have, right? So there's this thing that moves in this weird fluid thing. And I think we haven't really described it before, but I think that probably it's a man. We see a human man, right? From the neck down. We'll get there. a human man from the neck down, and he wears like a woodsman, like a rider's cloak, right? It's beautiful. I'm envisioning here, instead of the devil, it's like a fey creature, but it's pretty much the same kind of vibe as Black Phillip at the end of The Witch, right? So we see this figure. He has these beautiful leather boots and shiny buttons on his shirt, but his head, I think his head is the head of an elk. I think from the neck up, like rising from this high collar, this high riding collar, we see the gray fur. We see gray fur of an elk. We see these beautiful blue eyes, and then like a big like crown from his head of antlers. And he steps out from behind the tree and like observes me with these big liquid eyes. And I don't point the spear at him. I just say, "So, you got me here. Where's my damn mammoth?" And he says in this like deep, like resonant voice. And the voice, I don't have a filter for it, but I imagine it'd be filtered a little bit in the TV show version of this. He says, "You belong here almost as much as we do, Nibake. You walk the human world too much. It has faded you, closed your eyes." And he's walking towards me as he says this, and I'm like paralyzed. I'm not like magically paralyzed. I just can't move, in the sense that I don't know where to go or what to do. I kind of freeze up, and I clutch the spear, and he comes closer and closer. And I see now that hanging from his antlers are like, his antlers are all tangled up in spider webs. So we see like a little spider kind of like drop down and like hang by his ear, and his ear kind of flicks at it, and the spider like dangles there. And he takes a few more steps until he's like right close to me. And I imagine that he's like 9 feet tall, right? He's huge. And I like look up at him, even though he's like human proportion. He comes over and he reaches up and he almost touches me, but then doesn't, like reaches for my face and then lowers his hand. And he says, "Do you know why I summoned you here?" And I clutch the spear and I say, "I don't know. Hard to get a date when you've got an ass for a head." And he turns and I sneers a little. I'm like, and he kind of scowls. I'm like, "Okay, sorry. All right. No, I don't know. I got lost in the fog." He says, "No one is lost in the fog without my doing so. Do you know why the sea of fog exists?" And I say, "No, I just figured it was a curse or something. Like why all the bad shit in the world I keep running into exists. Why I got a hole in my memory from my trip over here, and why everyone in Highwatch was cruel to me, because the world fucking sucks. I figured that's why." And he kind of like tilts his head slightly and looks at me like almost sadly. Like I don't understand, and that makes him sad. And he says, "You're not one of them. You're one of us. And so you have oaths to fulfill, work to do. You made a mess here, a human mess, and now you must clean that mess up." And I look at him and I get this like, oh fuck, this like abashed look on my face. I'm like, this is about that thing I let loose, isn't it? And he nods. And he says, "You must take responsibility for what you've done." And he reaches into his pocket and he holds out an acorn. And I look at it and I look at him and I'm like, "You want me to eat that or?" And he says, "Take it." And he gives it to me and I take it because I'm like forced to. I kind of stumble a little and I look at it. I'm like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" And he says, "Only life can end death." And I kind of raise an eyebrow and I'm like, "What? No, I don't think that's how." And he puts his hand up to silence me and I suddenly can't talk. And he says, "Find the creature you set loose. Plant the seed within it, and the forest will do the rest." Fuck you. I'm right in the middle of something, so I'm just going to give you back your magic nut, and I'm going to leave, because none of this is my problem. Bad things happen. Then I shrug, and I'm like, "Nah, fuck this," and I want to turn around and try to walk away. But I think he tries to keep me here. Right? I think also my conscience, like, he's not wrong. I think the elf part of me is like resonating. And I think part of why I'm like, "Fuck this, I'm gonna go. You can't make me stay," is her trying to shirk responsibility, but also her like inner spirit is like, "No, you have to fix this, dumbass." So I think I'm really resisting myself, not him. I think grandma would have gotten along great with this guy, but I'm not my grandmother. So I'm going to try to face danger and get the fuck out of here, because I don't want to help this guy. So let's roll. All right, so let's take a note. So I spoke with the Watcher in the Wood. Says the thing that got loose from the nun's magic fountain, some kind of death god. And the only way to kill it, or life it, is to plant a magic nut inside it somewhere. I tried to tell that stupid forest god to go plant his own nut, but something's going on. Something's happening to me here. I don't like it. That's right, go handle your own nut, antler face.